Benjamin. Okay, Penny, what's the update on Sloaney and Matt Crouch?
Yeah, so right, Matty Crouch will be a test this week, and I know he has been for the last couple of weeks, but he trained fully last week, but couldn't get through a couple of the movements which are pretty crucial for him at stoppage. But he's improved again by having the weekend off, so hopefully he should be right to go, but we'll wait and see. Sloaney has a grade 1 hamstring tear, so it's low grade, which is good news. It's the first time he's ever done a hamstring as well, and it's in a place which obviously can heal pretty quickly. So we're hopeful for him. He's probably 50-50 at the moment. He's run this morning and he'll just do a little bit more and tick a few boxes as the week goes on.
Sorry, and Matt Crouch, update. I said it was a test, didn't you?
Yeah, Matt will be a test, yeah. Hopeful to play, but a test.
How important to obviously get Matt back and hopefully Rory as well, given the fact you've got a game against a team with a very strong midfield?
Yeah, really important for us. I think at the moment we're happy and we've been able to cover some spots, but those two players are certainly in our best midfield and in our best 22. So it'd be ideal for us to have them both there, because this weekend shapes as a pretty important game for us, as they all are. But certainly GWS in good form on our home deck, leading into the bye is a pretty important one for us.
I was going to say, do you feel like you got out of jail a bit on Saturday night against the Demons?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think we were happy to walk away with 4 points in that one. We probably weren't playing our best. Melbourne certainly put it against us. They made some errors, we made some errors, and perhaps our efficiency going forward in the last half is probably what saved us a little bit. Having said that though, Melbourne had the last 3 shots on goal, I think it was, or 3 shots to win the game pretty much. So yeah, we probably escaped with one there.
Sam Jacobs?
Yeah, Newfield forward. No, he had a really strong game. Yeah, played in the ruck against the Roosters and kicked 5 himself. So I don't know if he's ever kicked 5 before. Maybe back at Ardrossan under 10s they were saying. But no, look, he was strong. So he puts pressure on. It's great to see a guy go back, and he's pretty confident that he's ready to go. And so we'll have to assess the game again. We were pretty comfortable with what Rob did as well against Max Gawn, and winning headouts is a pretty good effort by the big man. So yeah, it'll be a discussion for match committee, but good to see he's in some form.
Is it as simple as what Port Adelaide do? They play 2 ruckmen. You guys more so play 1 ruckman and JJ. Can you replicate what Port do and play Rob and Sauce, or is there really only room for one of those guys?
Oh, we could, but we probably tend to go down the path of one genuine ruckman and a second ruckman like JJ or Elliott when he was playing in that role. So it's not out of the question, but I think we'd probably prefer the other way. But it'll be a discussion at match committee. If we think it's the best fit to help us win the game, then it's something that we can certainly go to.
Speaking of JJ, what did you make of his comeback, you call it?
Yeah, it was good. I think, like all of us, maybe a little bit slow in the first half, but he had a really strong second half and a really strong last quarter, which helped us win the game, obviously. Saw some really good movement from him. I thought he rucked well as well when he had to. Mate had a presence up forward, so I think he'll get better. He hasn't played that level for 5 weeks, I think. So, we were comfortable with what he did, and hopefully he can continue on that way.
Was that pleasing to see such a strong response? Like the goal where he's fought off McDonald with just a show of brute strength and puts it through. I mean, it's sort of things that you might not have seen from him in recent times.
Oh, maybe that's probably the reason. One of the reasons that he wasn't in the side, but certainly to be able to, and he's been fantastic. Going back, took it on the chin, asked the reasons, and what do I need to do to get back in, basically, and he's worked really hard at it. So I think being a bit freer with his ankle has also helped, but yeah, to stand up when we needed someone to in that last quarter and kick a goal like that was fantastic for him.
How much of the focus from the coaching group was to make sure that when he does come back, it's not for 1 or 2 weeks, it was for the next 10?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it hasn't been a discussion of how long. I think he'll keep his spot as long as he performs well and earns that spot. So, and he knows what it's going to take, and he was great stepping stone forward on the weekend, and I think he'll build confidence from that, and I hope he is in there for the next 10 to 12, yeah.
Similar one with Bryce Gibbs coming back into the team. He played mostly as a tagger in that second half. Is that a role that, it seems like he's kind of struggled in recent weeks with coming in and out of the team? Is the tagging role perhaps one that's best suited for him going forward? Yeah,
I think luxury with Bryce there is that if we do need to go to that, then he can do it. We've seen him do it before, even back in his younger days, but we were really happy for him to go on to Oliver, who was really controlling the midfield at that time. and curb his influence. I mean, that third quarter was really strong. So yeah, it's another string to his bow that he can add. But we were again pleased with what Bryce was able to do, come in and have that impact and do a job that the team needed. So no, it's something for us to think about anyway.
But how tough is that call with O'Brien and Jacobs? Obviously, as you said, O'Brien's been terrific filling in for 9 games, but Jacobs must stand out in the weekend.
Yeah.
And he's your number 1 ruckman. So how tough is that call going to be?
Yeah, it'll be a tough call. Obviously, he's in. Rob's been in really good form. He's been able to come in as a younger player and take on some of the better ruckmen and do a great job for us. And then Sauce, as you say, he's been around a long time, 200 odd games, and or he's not quite 200 yet, I think, 198. But to get him up and going in form, so it's a tough decision. Now, Sam was on a little bit of limited game time last week, so the discussion will be, is he ready to come back in? Has he played enough? Does Rob need a rest? Do we need to play 2 ruckmen? Whatever it may be. So it'll be a tough one, but that's good.
Sam obviously wants to play. He wanted to come straight in the AFL team anyway. So
Yeah, he was ready 3 weeks ago, he said, before even playing. But no, look, of course he will. And we want our players to do that. We don't want players to be comfortable playing at the lower level. So yeah, it's going to be a tough decision, but one that we'll put a bit of thought into and make that call at the time.
How much percent of that game did he play? You said managed time.
Yeah, I think he ended up playing about 75, might have been 80% time. And he kicked. I think he kicked his goals out of the ruck most of the time, so he wasn't actually playing as a forward. It was more as a ruck. So yeah, he's done a fair bit of training. Does he need to play a full game? That will come into discussion. Is he ready to go now? So it's all up in the air.
That's probably what I was going to ask you about, where he actually played. I was kicking 5. Thought he might have played a bit of keep forward, but you're saying he sort of got those players to ruck.
Yeah,
forward.
mainly in the ruck. I think he might have rested forward a couple of times, but mainly in the ruck, pushing forward. So yeah, nice to hit the scoreboard.
Richard Douglas, another one that obviously now 2 games and settled back from that ankle injury.
Yeah, he'll come under consideration as well. He had over 30 possessions and looked strong. He looked a lot better. His movement was really good after missing a fair bit of footy. So he's going to put his hand up as well.
It's going to be tough call for a few players. Well, obviously Bryce, we talked about before that he did a really good tagging job on Oliver on the weekend. But if Rory does get up and if Matt Crouch does come back, suddenly you've got to probably leave out a midfielder, and then Bryce might be the unlucky one in that situation. Yeah,
well, maybe at this time of the year, with this squad available, that someone's going to be unlucky. I don't know who it is, and I don't know when that decision will get made either. But that's what happens when you have your full squad available, and pressure on for spots is a fantastic thing to have. The guys who miss out, they don't feel that, but they certainly understand that's part of it. And whether that helps you perform a little bit better or not, who knows, but having that pressure is good.
Hardy, so the reality is that Bryce could have played a good game in Brizzy, get dropped, come back in and play a decent game against Melbourne and do a good job, and then face himself on the way over.
Well, what we do is, at selection, is we pick a team that we think is best going to enable us to win the game of footy. So whether that means if X, Y, Z are in or out, we choose on this side that we pick will help us win this game of footy, or what we think will help us win the game of footy. So there's potential for anyone to go in or out, to be honest.
So with that midfield the Giants have, obviously Cornelio, Kelly, just keep rolling them off.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to have a tagger, like a shutdown type player, or role that Gibbs played on the weekend?
Yeah, we've always gone into every game having a what if you like. If someone got out of control, who can we use to go to someone? And so we've had that in every game this year. We haven't used it every game, but it's there for us. So that'll be again in the planning, and whether you need to bring in a specific tagger for the role, that'll be discussed, but it'll be in the planning for sure.
So just to follow up with this one from the weekend, the Cole Hardigan, the late change in him, was that more around just matchups, or is there an injury with Cole? Or?
No, that was more about matchups. We felt we could go in with 2 talls plus Jake Kelly to play as that third tall, and we were pretty comfortable to go with that. Having a look at their forward line, now they made a late change, bringing a tall in, but it didn't really affect what we were looking at. So no, it's unfortunate for Kyle, but he understood it, and be nice to say it helped us win the game, but we're getting over by 2 points. I'm not sure what did.
So if, let's say Sloane plays, Douglas is available, Sauce is available, so the only one you're missing is Tom, effectively, Tom Today. So then Richmond and GWS coming up, no excuses then if your list is cherry ripe.
They're pretty important games for us, aren't they, to set up the season. it's not about excuses anyway, but it's if we can have our best side available to perform, then that'll give us an opportunity, and then it's how we go about it, to be honest. And they're two pretty strong sides, and if we want to be a side like that and finish top 4 or finish in the 8 and play finals, play strong finals footy, then these are the games that we have to perform in. So, yeah, it's basically what it is in the end.
So there are games you'd highlight where, if you're down to Matt Crouch or you're down to Sloan or you're down to Jacobs, you could sort of use them as a reason perhaps of why you might not have been up to the task. But going forward, if everyone's fit and available, how much more pressure there is there to deliver? Then there's no real way you can sort of make accommodations for underperforming.
No, well, generally the reason you win or lose is because you perform well, and that's what it'll be. We're not necessarily hung up on who plays. We love our best players to be available all the time, but we go in with a plan every week in the way we want to play and execute it. If we're good enough to execute it at the level we need, then we normally have a win, and that'll be the same, whether it's playing with 44 fully fit or just having 23. We go into games expecting to win and perform, so it'll be no different.
They help though, the better players.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But sometimes you get them available, which is great, and sometimes you don't. It doesn't guarantee you'll win though.
Where were you when Wiedemann had the ball in his hands, and what were you thinking?
Well, I was.
Were you holding?
Yeah, I was standing in the box, standing up because the box was quite small. But when he took the mark, I sort of walked to the back of the box and leant up against the wall to have a look. And
facing which way?
Yeah, no, I was facing the oval. I don't know if I was facing him, but facing the oval. But look, at the end of the day, it was probably a bit lucky for us to win that game, and unfortunate for Sam. And I probably know how he feels, but happy to take the 4 points.
Jeremy Cameron threat, obviously.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Right.
He's a very good player, isn't he? Yeah, he is. But certainly, it'll be a lot about how we go around the ball. Now they've got a good midfield. We'd like to think our midfield's pretty strong. The supply that they get, and you hear this all the time, but if we can limit their supply, halt the way the ball comes in there cleanly, then it doesn't matter necessarily what players are on the end of it if you can disrupt it a bit. So that'll be going into the planning. But at the same time, he's a pretty strong player, and we'd like to think that Daniel's been a pretty good player as well, so Daniel will probably have a go there, and Alex Keith's been in reasonable form for us as well. So, yeah, there's more than just Jeremy to worry about though.
Well, three pretty good talls then with Harry Hilberg and Sam Reid as well.
Yeah.
Very potent forward line.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're a strong midfield. They're a potent forward line. They're pretty solid down back as well. So, no, we'll have to be on our game. It's a big game for us, obviously, and we'll need to perform better than we did on the weekend to get a result. But we like to think our best is good enough.
The last 2 games, you've had 2 quarters that have been unbelievable. How do you harness that, and how do you try and take the best part of the West Coast and the Melbourne game and make that a consistent, like almost a base level? Yeah,
that's been the trick for us. We've had some consistent form, and then we've had some inconsistent and in games, as you mentioned. So, look, that's our plan, and that's our challenge, to be able to do it consistently and do it for longer. We do honestly believe that our best footy is good enough, but we have to be able to do it for 4-quarter performances. Maybe a lot for us as well as how we start. I don't think we've started overly well for most of the year, so that's going to be pretty important and a focus going forward.
Why do you reckon?
Not really sure, to be honest. I mean, we haven't been blown away too often in a first quarter, but we haven't been able to do that to the opposition either. So it's an arm wrestle. We've been in a few of those over the last few weeks. So it'd be nice to come out on top in the first quarter and then roll from there.
Impressed with
Brad Crouch? Yeah, he's been pretty good, hasn't he? Look, he just finds the footy. What I love about the way Brad plays, he just hunts the ball. He'll find the ball, he generally uses it pretty well, and it was, he said he had ice in his veins running through when he had that shot on goal. I'm not sure if that's true, but look, it was great to see him hit the scoreboard. So he's in terrific form, and he just needs to keep hunting the ball for us.